everybody from Around the Beach with Lisa Fox.
Woo!
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
This is a very quiet crowd tonight before the parade. What's going on?
Oh, we're gonna hoot and holler.
We're saving ourselves.
Yeah, we're.
Oh, okay. You're saving up? Okay, well, it's Thursday, March 8th. Today, it was supposed to be 70 degrees. It's only 55 degrees. It's a little windy out there. The wind is blowing.
A lot windy.
Yeah, a lot windy out there. But I think that we're going to have a great St. Patty's Day on Saturday.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful, and the sun is going to be shining, and everyone's going to be Irish.
Oh, it'll be so nice.
It's going to be awesome, right?
Treat.
It's going to be great.
Signs of spring.
Last week was amazing. We had New Life Crisis here. We had a three-piece band in the kitchen.
Crazy.
How crazy was that?
Amazing.
Pinch me. Did that even happen? I can't even believe it.
That was
Mayhouse and Jeff and Steve were very gracious, and they entertained us for the entire hour. Plus, they stayed for a little while longer, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe it was
I
happening.
couldn't believe it was happening.
It was just.
It was really, really such a treat.
They're going to be at Agave.
And they are the
On
nicest
the 17th.
guys.
Yeah, they're going to be at Agave in Westhampton on the 17th at 9 p.m. They are going on. I'm going to be going to see Colin Ray at the Westhampton Performing Arts Center on the 17th. It's a benefit for New Beginnings, which is Allison Sherry's organization. Her father, who is Amy Brown's father, had a motorcycle accident and has a traumatic brain injury. So he is being treated at New Beginnings, and Allison is having a big fundraiser. So I'm going to be attending that, and I'm going to actually get to meet Colin Ray, which is exciting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So that is going to be fun. I wanted to wish Tippy a happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You guys are following me know Tippy.
It was a good one so far, and
She's
I hear
finally
there's more
catching up to
come.
me. She's 47. Cheers to you, Tippy.
Thank you.
Guess what?
What?
You share your birthday with the Oreo cookie.
Oh gosh, I never knew that.
On March 6th in 1912. All right, yeah.
March 6th?
March 6th, the Oreo cookie was made.
So it's not my birthday.
There was a whole story about that on, well, you share the same week with the Oreo cookie. But the big question is, and I always like to ask people, how do you eat the Oreo
The
cookie?
Oreo cookie. I dip.
You dip?
Get it
Does
really
anybody-
soggy
You
and
dip it
One
in
big
over
bite.
here.
We got one big bite. We got a split.
I take the top off. Eat the
Take the
other
top
end.
off.
I
Yeah,
just
Grand
eat it whole.
Marshal Michael Pitcher, he's like, what am I even doing here right now?
And how do you eat it, Lisa?
I totally like to take it apart,
You
and then
spin
I dip it in milk.
Okay.
It is called, it's called Milk's Favorite Cookie.
It is. You have to have milk.
Yes. So I say, cheers to the Oreo cookie. You've changed a lot of
Their
people's
history.
lives. When the girls saw the cookies tonight, they went right
I
into
know.
them.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Love it. Can't believe
It
it.
was one of those things I never bought when the kids were little because they're very
I
messy.
know. I want to say get well to Robin. She's recuperating from her surgery this week. Robin, you made us crack up last week when you showed up at the house during the
Dancing like crazy.
dancing like crazy. There
Hope
she
you're
was.
feeling well.
Yeah, she's gonna feel better soon. Got some local news to talk about. First, it's spring ahead. It's coming up.
Yay.
Is that gonna make everybody feel
Oh,
better or
so
what?
good.
I know, right? It's gonna
Can't
be
wait.
awesome. That's on Saturday night. You're gonna turn your clocks ahead.
Spring ahead.
Yes. Andrew Mendelson is back in the news. He's pursuing his application to change the zoning in Westhampton to put his supermarket. So, we're not going to see him going away. He's going to keep trying. I've had him on the show. Very controversial. Makes Dean Spear crazy. That's why I like to have him on the show. I like to get Dean mad. I know I shouldn't say that because he likes to stir it up. But and Tony had a very interesting editorial about the whole zoning process and how everything was, how this whole plan came to be. So you might want to check that out in the Southampton Press editorial. Last week we talked about the garbage law, and I said that Mr. Flood got very upset because people are putting garbage, household garbage in the receptacles in town, and his quote was, "They should be fined and they should be hung." Well, I wasn't the only one that thought that was kind of interesting that he said that. A writer wrote in and said that she also felt that that was a little, it was a little crazy.
Word choice.
But I can understand that. So we'll see what happens.
Freedom of speech.
So next, Andrew Mendelson this week in the paper is Jay Kopf, and he is going to be developing property over on North Phillips Avenue, that old beautiful building. Well, it's not very beautiful right now, but he hopes to turn it into something beautiful. He's going to be on the show next week, Jay Kopf.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That building's been there
It's
for.
going to be called Spion Commons, I believe it's going to be
That's
called.
wonderful.
So we'll get to talk to him about that. Of course, the parade is coming up this week, and everybody's talking about the parade. The parade. It's there's going to be an alcohol-free section. Delaney, do you know about that for hugs?
Yep.
And where is that going to be exactly?
Usually where the farmer's market is.
Okay, so there's going to be a section cordoned off so that people can enjoy the parade without any alcohol. So I think that's a great
alcoholic
idea.
behavior.
Or the behavior that the alcohol causes, yes. Definitely. I totally got that. All right, we have a question already. Let's see what this question is. I usually have my screener around, but she's on the train. We have to say a special shout out to Uncle Ray from Florida. He's watching.
Hey, Uncle Ray.
Welcome to the show.
How are those peanut chews?
And we want to also hugs to Aunt Marge because she's going through a rough time with her treatment. But we are wishing her well and hope that
Love
she
you, Aunt Marge.
gets well soon. Yes, we love you, Aunt Marge, and we're praying for you. Let's see what else is coming up. Oh, the Remsenburg Spion alumni Mark Podless is going to be joining the Westhampton Aviators this summer. Are you going to be taking an aviator this summer, Jen? 2 aviators for Aunt Jen. Dos aviators for Aunt Jen. I think you're very brave. And how can people get in touch are they still looking for housing for these kids?
They're always looking for
So
housing.
who should they contact?
They can reach out for
Henry Bromwell.
Henry Bromwell.
Jeff Spear. Anybody will get them in touch with Henry. And then
Okay.
Henry can
All
go
right.
that way.
Yeah, and I can put that on my Facebook. So if anyone's interested in having a baseball player stay at their house.
Yeah, it's not
They're
just
great kids.
It's not just for the Westhampton Aviators. The Riverhead Tomcats look for housing. There's a new team on Shelter Island, Center Moriches,
Okay.
Southampton. Anybody knows anybody, they would love housing.
Terrific. That sounds
Great.
great. I will definitely put them in touch. I want to say congratulations to Annika Penn, who placed second in the New York State Indoor Track Championship. It was a photo finish, I heard.
Wow.
Yeah, good for you, Annika.
Good for her.
What is that, race walking?
Congratulations.
It's race walking.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That's really intense. If you've ever seen it, it's
Annika. Tomato.
Congratulations.
Tomato. All right, whatever. I'll get it right.
We're proud of her.
I think it's great. Restaurant Week is coming up on March 18th through the 25th of March. You can go online for more details, but a lot of restaurants are participating in it, and it's always, tight. You have to really make your reservations in advance. All right, big talk about graduation. Lots of Facebook controversy about the Westhampton Beach graduating class this year, and I do have some high school correspondents with us tonight. We might have to pose some questions. Now, I won't mention any names. But there was a grassroots effort by the kids at the high school to change the graduation date. Was this a change that was going to happen for next year or for a graduation date and time?
Originally 2013, but we pushed for this year.
Okay, so you were successful in your bid to change the date, so it's going to change from Sunday to Friday
And it's gonna get night.
in the evening.
Under the lights.
Under the lights.
No lights. It's
No
light
lights?
till 9 a.m. I mean 9 p.m. Sorry.
All right. Well, my Facebook went crazy when Mr. Herr contacted all the parents through ConnectEd. Parents were going nuts. So there's been a little bit of lack of communication between the parents and the school and the kids. Something happened. So I'm sure this week in the press we're going to see some interesting comments
Letters.
about that. Letters about that. Yeah.
Change is hard.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. All right, now I'm going to introduce Tippy because she's going to come in with her tip of the week.
Come in.
The birthday girl. I'm just going to move on.
Okay, good.
How are you? Good.
Did you have a good week?
Great week.
Good. Good.
Happy to be back on Thursday night. Love Thursday nights.
No technical difficulties this week.
Well, we'll see. You never know.
I wanted to just talk about gas tonight. Gas is like
What kind of gas?
gasoline.
Oh, gasolina!
Gasolina. Transportation.
Okay.
It's so expensive right now. Everybody's complaining.
It's a
gonna-
crunch.
Yeah. So I did a little looking, to find out some ways that maybe we can save some gas.
Okay.
And, some are common sense, but you might not even be
Let's do it.
thinking about it.
Share.
Sometimes I know my husband keeps heavy stuff in the back of his pickup. If you can lighten your cargo, get some weight
Lighten
out
up
of
the
the
car.
car. Yeah. Also, make sure that your tire pressure
Tire pressure's
is at
important.
the recommended.
You have to give them those gauges.
You can go to the gas station; they'll help
Yep.
you out if need be. Pump it yourself and pay
Pump
cash.
Pump it yourself and
Really?
pay cash.
Pump it yourself and pay
Cash.
cash. It's really not that hard to do. I never pumped gas. There's instructions on the pump. You can do it if I can do it.
Right.
And don't use your AC unless you absolutely need to use it.
There are some people that don't like to pump their own gas, especially
know.
women. They really have
Yeah,
a hard
it's
time with
really
it. and
not a big deal. It's really not a big deal.
I don't like to smell like gas all day.
You know what, Jackie? You
I don't like to go to
keep.
7-Eleven.
You could use paper towels to keep your
Bring
hands.
Purell with you.
It saves a lot of money.
Yes.
It
Rubber
adds up.
gloves.
I
Rubber
also
gloves.
think that we should probably walk to the post office or bike to the post office.
Okay.
Maybe bike to yoga and get a double workout.
I ran to
know
yoga
you do
today.
that.
I ran to yoga.
I think it's good to maybe instead of going grocery shopping by yourself, go with your girlfriend.
Go with your girl.
And then
go,
next
go
week
with
she
someone
can
that
drive.
likes it.
Do
Yeah, exactly. You can do
I love
Peapod.
Peapod.
That's a good idea. I think that we can also, I found this was interesting, if you park in the shade, because the sun can make the gasoline evaporate.
Oh, really?
And if you can't park in the shade, at least put your gas tank out of the direct sunlight.
Wow.
Thought
Okay.
that was very
I didn't know
interesting.
that.
You also your acceleration and your braking. Don't be aggressive. Coast to the stop sign. I mean,
Good
and
lesson,
they're saying that the gas is going to go up to like five and change.
Oh, that's gonna
So
hurt.
right now though, you can go to that new gas station in Eastport.
Yeah.
He's $3.89 and he pumps it without any extra
You can
charge,
also
Jackie.
use you can go on your
Yeah, I have
smartphone
that
and
right
get
here.
a gas app. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
I have 3 websites you can check. One is mapquest.com. The other one is gasbuddy.com, and the other one is 247gasprices.com. Can you see that?
Yep, and you can use your
It's
smartphone.
not focusing.
Okay.
Well,
So
we'll
it's
put
map-
we'll put it on the
It's
Facebook.
mapquest.com, gas prices, gasbuddy.com, and 247gasprices.com.
Great. That's great.
Check out your prices.
I think that's so great.
Cruise control.
Those are good
And
tips.
and Devin just mentioned cruise control is really great. When Devin drives to Vermont, she saves a lot of money in gas by using the cruise control.
Okay, so don't put your
And
pedal. What's
Yeah.
the
Pedal to metal.
Pedal to metal. Thanks, Tippy.
You're welcome.
Good tips
You're
every week by
welcome.
Tippy.
You're welcome.
Love it. Really good because
Thanks.
gas is very
It's
expensive.
crazy.
Very expensive. Well, we're going green here today, and I don't mean green, earthy green. We're going Irish. We're getting ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day Parade, Westhampton style. And actually tonight I'm in the kitchen because I have 2 guests. I have the Grand Marshal of the 45th Annual Westhampton Beach Parade, Michael Pitcher, who's going to join me over here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, welcome. She's going to look at that camera
Great
right
to
up
be
there.
here.
So we are so happy to have you here and to take the time out of your long day to join me in the kitchen of my house to do my little web show to make me happy. Oh my gosh. I'm fulfilling my dream. So, nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
What a feeling that must have been to be named the 45th Grand Marshal of the Westhampton Beach Parade.
It surely was. It was a great honor. My good friend Tim Laube completely sandbagged me. He called me up on a Thursday and said, "Oh, I've got a media project I'm working on. Do you think you can come by? Could I come by your house on Sunday and you could help me out with it?" I said, "Sure, of course." Called me up at 3 o'clock on Sunday, and I said, "Tim, I thought you were going to be here for a media project." He said, Actually, I'm down at Kerrigan's Pub.
Ooh.
I said, why are you at Kerrigan's Pub? He said, because the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee just elected you the Grand Marshal. Come on down.
So is that how it happens? Like they meet at the pub, they met at the pub.
They had several prior meetings at which, I think that several people were nominated, and they whoever makes the nominations makes their pitch for whoever their candidate is,
Right.
and then they finally hold the election.
That's amazing. Now you're going to be part of that process now because once you're elected Grand Marshal, you become part of the parade committee.
That's correct.
So you will be able to get it. You'll be able to tell us next year how this whole thing works.
Yeah, I hope one year to be able to sandbag Timmy.
Yeah. Well, maybe someday he'll get elected.
Yes, that's.
It's also a bit of a commitment, isn't
It's
it?
a big
Now you
commitment,
have to, every year, you're gonna be in the parade and you have to join the functions and.
Yeah, but it's also much fun. I mean,
It's great.
the people on the parade committee are just a great bunch of fun
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and they
They work so hard.
they work really hard
So
to
committed.
raise the money that's needed to put on the parade,
Right.
and they all do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're a
It's
great
really
bunch
great.
of people.
It's
Now,
really
is it
fun.
true that you're not Irish?
It is absolutely true that I am not Irish. I have to admit that.
That's-
I am not. In fact, and I really regret to admit this, I'm actually 100% English.
English. Well, that's not so bad. And you have ties to the Mayflower, which I read about.
That's true.
And tell a little story about your parents.
My father was who traces his heritage back to the Mayflower, was a lawyer for the Americans at the Nuremberg trials. My mother, who's from London, was a stenographer for the British at the Nuremberg trials, and they met in Nuremberg and were married in Nuremberg.
Wow. Interesting, right?
A very you could not pick a more unlikely place for a romance, but.
Now, part of the reason that you're selected to become Grand Marshal is because you have community service ties to Westhampton.
Mhm.
And a couple of things that you've done in your community service is been involved as a founding member of East End Hospice.
Correct.
That's interesting. How did that come to be?
I actually wasn't a founding member. I joined the board. The group at the time was called East End Hope for Hospice because it was an all-volunteer organization. It wasn't actually, a state-certified hospice. But I've been doing stories about it for the Hampton Chronicle News because I've always been a huge supporter of hospice care, and I was just so enthusiastic about seeing them getting established in Westhampton Beach. And Jeannie Waller, who was then the librarian at the Westhampton Free Library, came into my office one day and said, I have to talk to you, Michael. I said, sure. And she sat down and said, I'd like you to join the board of East End Hospice. And I said, oh, Jeannie, you know how much I love hospice, but the problem is, as the editor of the paper, if something comes up at a hospice meeting that's newsworthy, I'm on that job
Yeah.
24/7, so I've got to think about it. And I thought about it, said this is one place I'm going to make an exception because I'm such a strong supporter of hospice care. So
It's
I joined
great.
the board, and
So-
I've actually been chairman of the board for the last 20 years.
That's fantastic. And they've got a new building going to be opening up. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna open. We're hoping to sink a shovel in the ground next summer.
Okay. And my family, sadly, or I guess happily or unfortunately, had to use hospice. But also, my niece has gone to Camp Good Grief, and she's
Great.
she's going to be at CIT this year, right?
Yep.
That's really
Great.
great.
Cool.
Now you
Super.
also are a volunteer with Camp Good Grief as well. Right?
Yes, indeed.
You take training classes
Yeah.
and you work there, and
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah, and I haven't recently, but I also took care of as a volunteer taking care of hospice
Okay,
patients.
that's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Also involved with the Quag Wildlife.
I was on the board of the Quag Wildlife Refuge for I think 6 years. My good friend, the late Ted Shuttleworth, who I duck hunted with Ted and his son Ted.
Okay.
And the history of the Quag Wildlife Refuge is kind of interesting. It was actually established in the 1920s by a bunch of duck hunters
Really?
as a refuge for wildfowl, because at that time wildfowl populations were plummeting, and they wanted to provide some safe area for them. So Ted, as I said, was a duck hunter, and I think one of the reasons he put me on the board, well, he knew I had you know, he often accused me of being a crazy environmentalist, which I
Okay.
am. But I was also a duck hunter, and he wanted to keep that tradition of duck hunters being on the board at the refuge, you know, alive. And I greatly enjoyed that. That was at a time when the refuge had just signed a new lease agreement with the state DEC
Right, which is
to operate the refuge. Unfortunately, the state did not come through on the promises they made in that lease, which they
Is that
promised.
when Gigi was involved with it
Yes,
at that point?
yes,
Okay.
it was. Gigi Spades was. And they were supposed to provide 2 full-time employees, but they only provided 1. So we had to raise money to
Right.
fund the other one.
Right, yeah.
And it got to the point, shortly after I got off the board, it got to the point where the members of the board said, the heck with this lease, we'll just run the refuge ourselves. And that has worked out wonderfully, and more power to them, because I certainly agree that was the right way to go.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I'm
Yeah.
talking to Gigi about that. It seems like that's a thread of the same feeling to everybody.
Yeah.
Stand up, I want to see if everybody can see your sash.
Oh, that's so
Isn't
pretty.
that nice?
You look very handsome.
I love that. I think that's great. So what do you expect to happen on Saturday?
I expect to have one hell of a great time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
And you have major obligations.
I do have a very serious obligation following the parade.
Timetable.
I'm told that it is traditional for the Grand Marshal to make a stop at every bar in town.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you know,
That's
if I
not
have to
easy.
do it, I have to do it.
Someone's gotta do it.
And you have to eat corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be stopping by, one of my first stops is going to be St. Mark's Church, because people at St. Mark's Church reached out to me after I was named Grand Marshal and said, look, you know, we'd like to form a closer relationship with the parade committee. You think you could stop by after the parade and get some photos taken with us? And absolutely, that will be my first stop.
That's
Okay.
great.
And also on the list is the Quad Veterans of Foreign Wars Hall,
Okay.
because
That's important.
several of their members are former Grand Marshals.
Yes.
So I will
Mr.
certainly.
Andon.
Yes, Mr. Andon at least, and I will certainly stop by and say
I
hello to
have
them.
to tell you that I was very impressed. If anyone has a chance to go onto the website, it's WHBStPats.com, and it gives you a great history of the St. Patrick's Day Parade
Mhm.
and a list of all the Grand Marshals that have come before you, and pictures of them and stories, and it's really a fascinating website, and it's even got a little countdown to the day that the parade begins.
And that's my
Come on over here, Conehead.
my friend Tim puts that website together.
Oh, he does?
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
Tim Labby, good
Tim's-
job.
Tim's a very talented man.
It's really good. I really, really, really like it. We have a special guest here tonight to join. We have a Conehead. That's awesome. Now, you know, Coneheads can't speak, but they do have a lot of messages. So we're really going to be anxious to hear or to see what the Coneheads are going to do this year. I'm sure it's going to be something very controversial, right?
Well,
You have any insight on that?
I have to admit that my favorite float in the parade is always the Coneheads.
I love
And
the Coneheads.
one year I did act as judge for the floats.
Oh, really?
And the Coneheads came in first that year.
There's a lot of money that's given out to these floats every year, so it's very important for the fundraisers for you to participate in the fundraisers.
Yeah.
There was a poker tournament this year, which I think was new.
Mhm.
They had the annual fundraiser at Casey's on the 25th of February. I think that was very successful. A lot of people wait for that to come.
Yeah, it's a great
And
party.
are there any duties that you have to do as Grand Marshal from the time that you're picked until the parade? Like, do you have to go shake hands with people or hug babies or anything like that?
I basically have to go to the meetings and certainly show up at the fundraiser
Okay,
and
right.
talk to everybody.
Okay. So I did have a couple questions for you from people that have asked me on
Okay.
Facebook. Have any past Grand Marshals given you any advice?
Yes, one Grand Marshal suggested that the one thing, well, certainly I was strongly urged to go to the VFW hall
Okay.
by one. And the other one suggested that I carefully monitor my
consumption?
My consumption of Jameson's.
Oh, okay. Because you right. Drink lots of water.
Yeah,
Keep Advil in
absolutely.
your pocket, and I hear coconut water may help. That's my tip. Let's see. Why is it important for people to support the parade?
Because the parade is a celebration of Westhampton Beach, and it's also a celebration of the onset of spring. It's not quite spring yet, of course. There hasn't been a winter this winter, so
No.
which I'm certainly not complaining about. But you know, it's a day when an awful lot of people that you haven't seen for months come back to Westhampton Beach. You know,
Yeah.
second homeowners that don't spend a lot of time out here in the winter. They're here for the St. Patrick's Day parade. You see friends and neighbors that you haven't seen in months.
Yeah.
And it's just a real positive affirmation of Westhampton Beach, I think.
I think so too, and I think you're right. And I think it's also a place where people continue their traditions.
Mm-hmm.
They gather with family, they gather with friends, they watch the parade, and then they go on and do whatever it is they're going to do. But they have a good time, and why not?
Absolutely.
Let's see, one more question. Has there been any one Grand Marshal that you really admire?
I would have to say Ham Endon. I've known Ham for 40 years. I'm very. I'm actually was always very good friends with his son, Ham Jr., and who was in the music business, of course. And Ham just did a great job as a school board member, as a mayor, in just any number of ways. He just did an enormous amount of good for the village of Westhampton Beach, and he's just an absolutely good-hearted man.
Definitely.
So good,
I
yeah.
totally agree. I'm going to look forward to seeing you on Saturday at 12
I will look forward to
o'clock.
seeing you.
I hope that you see me somewhere in the crowd. I'm going to be down by the patio, which is that's where my hangout is, and I'll
Okay.
make sure that I say hi to you.
Started petting.
I wish you the best day.
Thank you so much.
My stepfather, Steve Price, is a past Grand Marshal, so I know that you are amongst good history
Yeah.
there. And
Oh,
is there,
Steve's a good friend
Steve's a
too.
good guy. Is there anything that you just want to say lastly, or any kind of website that you want to promote, or any of your kids are going to be with you too, your sons, right?
Well, one of my sons. One son is at college and can't get away, unfortunately. But my son Casey is going to be there, and I mean here I am an Englishman, or total English extraction. My kids' names are Casey and Quinn.
Ah, there you
So
go.
there's something Irish going on there.
Definitely. Well, have a great day.
I will.
Enjoy yourself, and thank you for coming today. I know it was a really busy day for you, and I really appreciate you coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you on the roof. Wow, that was exciting. I love that. I wish him a great day. Hey, Christine Owen, how are you? Wishing you well. I hope that your son Bryce is getting better. I hope he's on his way. Well, now I finally get to get. Actually,
Your
this
dream.
is
This is
like
like your
my
dream.
dream right now is to do a cooking segment on my
Yeah,
show.
you always wanted to do this. This
I
has been
know.
your
I'm
number
getting
one goal.
prepared for that. But first, I just have to cover a couple of national things that I didn't get a chance to go over.
Coney 2012.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I don't really know much about that.
I did.
But Matt Lauer is about to be the $25 million baby. He is going to get $25 million a year to be on the Today Show
I
for the
love
next
him.
3 years.
That's a lot
I don't know if I love him
but I
for
love him.
$25 million.
No, I think that's excessive.
I think I could do a good job on the Today Show.
I think you could too.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to you, Matt Lauer. The winner of the Rhode Island Powerball was an 81-year-old woman named Louise White. She was shopping for raspberry sherbet at the Stop and Shop, got that ticket, and oh my gosh, can you imagine?
She went?
$388 million
For what?
for the Powerball.
Oh, the Powerball. Oh.
Yeah. If you need any nieces or nephews in Spionk, we're here for you, Louise. Whitney Houston's daughter is getting all of her loot. She's left everything to her daughter and nothing to Bobby Brown. What do you guys think of that? Any comments on
I
that?
think that's a
I wish I was her.
harsh
Whitney
statement.
said it all.
What are you doing, Conehead? Oh, it's a surprise. Channel 4, NBC, if you guys are local, if you like your local news on Channel 4, Sue Simmons, her contract has not been renewed, and she will not be coming back as of June, so I don't know what's going to happen to the partners of Chuck and Sue, But that was trending on Twitter today like crazy as well.
Wow.
Yeah, people were going crazy about Sue Simmons not coming back.
Wow.
And it looks like Peter Cook and Christy Brinkley are back at it again,
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah.
Why waste your breath?
Sad. Why are
Blogging,
they
he's
going
blogging
there?
about her. Blogging how bad she is.
It's
Because
terrible.
she continues to punish him for his liaison with the 18-year-old girl 4 years ago.
I think that's hard to get over, though.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. She's having a hard time.
Yeah.
And, okay, so let's talk about Coney a little bit. What is the story with Coney? Is his name Coney? James
His name
Coney.
is Joseph Coney.
Joseph Coney has been all over my Facebook, and he is the Uganda man who is abducting kids and said, oh, is he trying to make them militant?
He's putting them in an army and he's giving them weapons to kill their parents. And they're making an army called the LRA, and there's like 30,000 something kids in there.
So what is the reason for that? This is trending all over Twitter and Facebook. What is social media trying to
We
do?
have to do it in 2012.
They're trying to arrest him in 2012. Like in October, they sent 100 people from the U.S. troops. They signed like a bill or whatever, or an act, and they sent 100 people to be advisors, not to fight or anything. And in December, they took that act away because it wasn't getting done or anything.
Okay.
So then they put it back, or they're trying to get it back so they
Okay.
can arrest
So
him.
just pay attention to what's happening on Facebook. Keep sharing it with whoever you can.
Go to
and give it-
Coney2012.com.
Okay, and I think it's on YouTube as well.
A lot of
Okay,
money's
thank
being raised by individual groups.
Okay, all right. Well, it's
Sounds like
something.
time for SEAL Team
Yeah,
6.
they're trying to
Yeah.
take him down.
This guy's bad news.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he's
bad
also
news.
kidnapping
He's
a
been
girl.
with the
Oh, okay. Well,
He's been in
okay.
making
So-
for 26 years, and he's been doing it for a while. But
All right. Pay attention to what's going on with this guy. It's all over your social media, people. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's trending.
Get
So
involved.
Get involved. Pay attention to what's going on. All right. Now, this is my dream come true. I've been dying to have a cooking segment on my show since I started this in October. And I'm so happy to welcome Margaret Johnson, who is a local Westhampton Beach author. Come on over here.
Welcome, Margaret.
We're going to move these chairs.
Oh, boy.
Margaret, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Margaret has written this beautiful book called Flavors of Ireland. It's a celebration of recipes, history, and just the beautiful Ireland country.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Oh,
Bring it in. So we can
Michael's
see
gonna
it.
go.
Yeah.
Bye, Michael. Thank you.
That would be great.
And today we're going to talk about, it's called tea brac.
Tea brac.
Yeah, tea brac is what?
Well, it's like a fruitcake, but a lot of people don't like fruitcake, and it's just like bad news to them. But this is a fruit bread
Okay.
where the fruit is soaked overnight in tea,
Right.
so it plumps it all up. You want to get that over there, or do we want to do
Yeah,
that?
we'll do that. We'll do that in a minute.
Okay,
So we'll
okay.
talk a little bit.
Okay, it plumps up the fruit, and then it becomes a very, very light, nice fruit
I
bread.
can't wait to try it because I've never even tried fruitcake. I've seen it at Christmas time, but I've never had it. I know we're not going to call it that.
No, we're not going to call it that.
we're
and we're not-
All right. So
Take
you
away the
have written
stigma.
10 cookbooks. Is that right?
That's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
What an accomplishment.
And this is your 8th one on Irish culture.
Yes, Irish cooking.
Irish cooking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And culture.
And
same
culture,
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing. That's amazing. How do you? So are you Irish?
100%, as
100.
opposed to your
My
previous
previous
guest,
guest.
who was 100% English.
I think that you're trying to become the next Grand Marshal. I have a feeling. You need to get Irish
You
people
know what?
over there.
I didn't want to say that. It was on, but
that should be part of the
should be a
criteria.
prerequisite.
Exactly.
Seriously.
You're not
Ham
kidding.
and Michael Picture.
You're no right. What's going on here? Well, it's great that you do this. I think it's fascinating. And you travel to Ireland how many times a year?
Sometimes 3, sometimes 2, but I have been 60 times.
For work.
Well, it is work. It is work, but it's work/pleasure and
So some of the books that you've written, which of course this would be my favorite, The Irish Pub.
yes, the Irish pub cookbook.
That's great. This is beautiful.
This is
And
2009.
This is beautiful book.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. So we have The Irish Pub.
Right?
We have the new Irish table.
Right, this is not in order, but that's okay. This is 2003, this is 2009.
This is 2003. This looks like a brand new book. It's
I know.
amazing. Okay.
And
Tea and crumpets.
Tea and Crumpets is a little diversion from writing about Ireland. I had to take a break, but now I'm fully back into my heritage.
This
So
is beautiful. Your books are beautiful.
thank you.
Who takes your pictures? The same person, or oh, no, you do?
Well, I don't take the food photos. They're professionally styled.
Okay.
And photographed. I take all the landscape photos. So like this picture of just a potato sign, New Rush potatoes. These are mine.
Okay.
Any landscape photo of Ireland.
But the food styling is done professionally.
Done professionally,
Right,
yes.
because otherwise, God knows what it would
Otherwise,
look like.
God
right?
knows what would happen, right?
Well, these are great books, beautiful books. And these
Thank
are all
you.
available on Amazon.com
They are.
or on your website, irishcook.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I love
Nice
it.
for the
It's great.
plug.
No problem.
Lisa, will you post those titles
I'm
on
going to
your
post
Facebook?
everything on the Facebook. Yes, and
Great.
I've already started. All right, I have a couple of questions for you. Because
Yes.
I did take these from your book.
Okay.
How is the perception of Ireland as a culinary destination changing? Because I have to tell you, when I first thought of the book, I'm thinking, how much can you do with corned beef and cabbage? And I think this is the stereotype of what
It
the
really
food
is.
is there.
It really
When I
is.
saw the book, I was like, whoa.
Well, since the early 80s, it's moved, fast forward from the perception that everyone has had of, boiled beef and stewed vegetables and soggy, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The same thing really with British food. That's just always like not good. Now it's moved into the 21st century because chefs have come to realize that we have the greatest food here. Like I know you said you keep chickens here.
Yeah.
If you were living in Ireland and you knew that you had the best beef, the best lamb, the best poultry, the best smoked salmon, everything. Like, why would we try to make it French or make it Italian or something? We're gonna just make it Irish.
Do Irish people you normally raise their own game or
No.
meat?
Well,
Is it imported?
No, it's not imported.
Okay.
No. Individually, they might not, raise it, but traditionally, people would keep chickens, they would keep a pig, they would keep maybe a few cows or something like
Okay.
that. I mean, that's the perception that you see in Ireland. Of course, it's changing. Everything is moved into where we have farms that do all of that for you.
Right.
Many people have their own gardens and to keep their own chickens. and
So probably people in Ireland too, they've traveled to the States, they've traveled out because it's cheaper to come here now, and
Yes.
they've been introduced to all the great food that we have here, and they go home and they say, look, why can't we have the same kind of food there, or take what we have and let's elaborate on it.
That's what they do.
That's what we're doing.
That's what
Okay.
they do.
All right. So in your book, I see beautiful pictures of. Everything looks so yummy. That
It is.
frittata looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
So I'm glad you mentioned frittata because, excuse me, you think frittata, Irish? You think of frittata as an Italian dish, but Irish people and Irish chefs take things from other countries as well, and they take their own ingredients though.
Right, and they make
So
it
they
their
make
own.
it like they might make with their own bacon, their own cabbage, things of that sort.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try doing some of what
Okay.
of this tea bracket, and then we'll ask questions as we go along. Okay. So
Okay.
what do we have to do first?
Well, first, do you want to take the soaked?
Yep. We'll take the
Okay.
soaked raisins. Okay. So tell everybody what we did with the raisins.
Okay. Well, there are raisins, golden raisins and regular raisins, brown sugar, and 1 cup of tea. And this has been soaked overnight. And if you could see the difference, if you have a spoon, maybe we could just
Yeah.
flip it up.
Yep. Come
You
on.
see, the reason for this is because the fruit gets all plumped up. So it's not just like a regular raisin. You see, it's all nice and juicy.
Yeah.
And this, it's become syrupy now because
And it smells great.
it's the tea and the brown sugar. So this is where we begin, and then we take.
What do you got?
We need to have. Now I need to put my glasses on. Now
Here's
we need
the
to have.
flour.
Yep, flour,
Right.
and we need 4 tablespoons of melted butter,
Okay. That I'm gonna
So
do.
just-
So I'll put
just
that
put it over
there.
there.
Yep.
and
Good
1
stuff.
beaten egg. And then we're going to take your eggs.
Can I
Be
move
careful, you
this
can't
back
see
so
that.
we can see your dishes?
Yeah, you can move
Is that
that.
all right?
Well, this is probably not gonna do it. It's gonna be this camera here.
No, that's the
No,
one that
this
was
is
in the
what's
way of what you
blocking.
guys are
Is
doing.
that
Oh,
okay?
okay,
Is that
yeah.
working?
In fact, we don't even need we could do this right now.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Okay, keep going, Margaret.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna mix the beaten egg.
Oh, I gotta beat the egg.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about the egg because
Oh, yeah, because they're your eggs, right?
these are my eggs for my chickens. Aren't they cute?
How about that?
Your eggs are
Nice.
delicious. We
Best
eat them
egg.
all the time.
All right, so I'm gonna beat the egg and actually use a blue egg.
Oh, a
Yeah.
blue egg?
The blue egg.
And how does that differ from a brown egg?
Just a different type of chicken.
How many do you have?
I have 20-something chickens.
A lot of farm.
Beat the egg.
Got it, beat the egg.
Look how creamy that is.
Mmm.
You guys can't believe how creamy that is. Okay, pour it in
Those
here.
are the best
Yeah,
eggs.
let's put this in first.
Okay,
On
pour
this
that
one.
in.
This in. Okay. One more, one more. Okay.
Can you do different kinds of fruit instead of the stuff
Yes.
that you're doing?
We have other fruit coming up here.
And you just use a spoon to do that, Margaret, or you can use
Oh, you can put
a
a big,
wooden spoon.
oh,
Or
of course, yeah. You have a bigger spoon, this is actually.
just pour this in.
Pour it, yep.
Oh, look at that.
Pour it in.
I'm so excited. You have no
Oh,
idea.
this
I'm
is
doing
great.
pretty
And the melted butter.
melted butter.
Melted butter.
Which is what? What kind of melted butter?
Kerrygold Irish butter, where is it? Oh,
Right
need to
here.
show
Put
this.
it up there.
Okay,
Can you
right
buy
here.
that in any grocery store?
Yes.
Oh, this is the best butter. It's Irish butter, okay? And so what's the difference between, this is all sweet cream, and it's, why is it so yellow?
I'm glad you asked. It's because of the, now, you know the expression, you are what you eat?
Yes.
Well, those cows produce really what they eat. It's the beta carotene in the grass in Ireland.
Oh.
All of the cows are only grass-fed.
That's right.
They never go anywhere except for the outside.
They graze on the green pastures of small family farms.
You just tell them that.
That's exactly what they do.
No, it's true. It's true, and it's because of the wonderful grass,
Okay, so then what Margaret did
Okay,
is
we have,
she's added in these gorgeous apricots and
cranberries, and we're gonna put in some
almonds,
almonds.
and we need some baking
And
powder.
we need some baking powder. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
this looks great.
Okay. I'm just
actually
gonna
really
mix
pretty.
it all up.
Oh, the other thing we need is this one. Did you put the mixed peel in yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
4 tablespoons.
All right, I'm gonna put that in.
Now you see the order in which we're doing this.
Okay.
It's really erratic.
Is that okay?
to do the mixed peel.
You don't like it, right?
Well, see, that's maybe
See,
the
this
problem.
is the thing. You just, yes, you need to do it.
Because you know what makes it festive.
Yes.
But everything so far that you put in, it looks so good, and then you
Well,
put that stuff in.
Well, what is mixed peel, Margaret?
It's just candied pectin. It's called pectin.
candy pectin.
Candied, I'm sorry, peel.
Peel.
Like, so if you took
Oh, so like the
lemon
orange
peel, the orange peel, the lime.
So it's sugared and kind of gelato.
Candied, yes. So you can put that in.
Okay,
Put this in.
we're gonna like this.
Yeah.
We're
Now,
gonna try it.
to answer Jen's question,
I'm
if
gonna
you
use
really hate it, you will not know that it's in here. If you really hated it, you could eliminate it. Or you could substitute other kinds of fruit.
Right.
You could put in dates, you could put in more cranberries, you could put in more apricots, things of that sort.
Right.
Because basically, the ingredients are fruit, the egg, the flour, the butter,
It's really all good stuff,
it's all good stuff, yeah. And the fact that you've plumped up the fruit
which is really
in the
important.
tea is just gonna make it that much like juicier.
It really is beautiful when you look at these gorgeous. It smells. If anyone wants to smell, it's great.
Margaret, do you use any special kind of tea? You didn't mention that.
No, I didn't. Of course I would use Irish tea, but you could use any kind of tea. Seriously, you could use
You know
any
what
kind
would be
of
fun
tea.
to
Breweries?
use? Probably like a citrusy tea might be nice.
Well,
Was that wrong?
no, not at all. I have another recipe in another one of my cookbooks that suggests that you soak all the tea, all the fruit
Mm-hmm.
in tea.
Okay.
All of it overnight.
Everything, even the raisins, everything.
And then it just makes it a little
I think the Conehead
moisture.
wants to help cook. Can she stir?
The Conehead.
Hi, Connie.
Cody. I know, she's a little droopy.
So
Your neck skin's hanging out.
So, this,
Can't talk, Conehead.
is normally baked in, a loaf pan.
Stuck it in.
Yep, we're gonna have a loaf pan
Loaf
here
pan
and
here.
a preheating oven.
Okay, 350
Yep.
for about 55 to 60 minutes.
Here, I'll be sleeping by then.
Okay.
Alright, I'll take that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't have a apron on. I should have had an apron on. You have no idea how excited I am about this. Oh my gosh, this is great.
Oh, goodness,
It's all great. It actually looks great.
This is for the anti-fruitcake lover. Really.
Okay, good. We're gonna turn you into fruitcake lovers, people.
Well, you can if you call it brac, people feel better.
Right, you don't wanna call it fruitcake.
No.
Oops, let's get that in there.
I think there's a lot of fear attached with that word.
You know why? Because it
Fruitcake?
lasts a long time and it's on the shelf forever.
Exactly.
Why is it
Like
on
a
the shelf
Twinkie.
forever?
Because
I'm not afraid
well,
of Twinkies.
no, one thing about fruitcake for like Christmas is that many fruitcakes use whiskey or bourbon or something like that, and that preserves the fruit, and that's why you can keep it for a long time. And that's why sometimes it's like a brick, you know?
Right.
But you do not need to make it like a brick.
No. So do your kids love this?
No.
Oh. What's your kids?
Thanks for your
Do you make?
honesty.
What's your kids' favorite meals? Like my kids, if you ask them what their favorite meals, they would say nothing.
They would say, nothing will make mother.
They
Nothing,
eat everything
no.
I make.
Do we need to eat that Irish stuff? Yes.
Okay. So they don't care for everything that. You
Oh, they do. I make them eat it, yeah.
And what about grandchildren?
They can't eat that.
Oh,
No, I mean,
they
they can, but no, they like chicken fingers and fries. That's
Oh, they can't eat it. So you have an
They're
Irish
little.
chicken finger?
No.
You have to come up
It's
with
too
that.
young. They're too young.
How old are they?
4, 3, 2, and 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They're little.
So
That
I'm gonna
looks
force them
great.
into it.
Look how beautiful that looks, everybody.
You can actually
Oh, that's
you can
great.
chop a little bit, but I like to leave it a little chunky like that.
Okay.
So
So it comes out almost like really, that's beautiful.
Rustic.
Yeah,
Kinda rustic.
yeah.
so
Okay.
350 for 55 minutes
Okay, I'm
or
gonna
so.
put that in the oven.
Okay.
And then look what we have here. Woo! Oh my God! I'm so excited that I got to do that.
Is it hot?
Okay, so no.
She didn't use an oven mitt.
Here, Cone. Where are you going, Conehead? Get over here.
Right.
You can't keep that. Okay.
Okay.
She just wants to taste.
Look. All right. Come on. Okay. See, this is a little rustic,
It's beautiful.
so it's not. Doesn't have
It's
a
got a
sweet
pretty
top.
glaze on it.
Yeah, just self-glaze. So let's just cut this. And the reason that what we put in the oven was in a regular loaf pan, like a 9 by 13, whatever. And these are little minis that I make because I do a lot of library programs,
Right.
Flavors of Ireland programs, and this is a much better
It looks great.
arrangement for.
It's so pretty, really.
It really is.
I think it's prettier than a fruitcake.
Well, I'm glad you like it. And spread with butter.
Is that
Oh,
the fruitcake
very
behind
well.
Peggy?
You can't scream! You have to have this Kerrygold butter on
You
anything.
have to have it on.
It's so fantastic. So
Now, of
good.
course, with a cup of tea, here we have a
Oh, look, Aunt
Our
Jency
first-
is in the picture.
Go ahead, try these.
with a cup of tea or a little glass of whiskey or a little
Bailey's.
Bailey's.
Lisa,
Not
you like
too
an
heavy.
Aunt
Not
Curry.
too heavy. No.
I am like Aunt Curry. I love it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So proud of you.
Are the ingredients for these things hard to find? Because you did tell me earlier that mixed peel is difficult.
The mixed peel, if you want to grab that
Yeah.
container there.
Sure.
This is traditionally found in supermarkets, Walmart, Stop and Shop.
No wall bombs.
All of our local places or any
Okay, right.
supermarket. This is traditionally found around Christmas time, Thanksgiving
So-
to Christmas. And it's called, this is, actually the label came off, but this is what it looks like. I buy it after Christmas and I keep it
Right.
forever, and this is like good until 2013. And it's, no, it is really, the
Real
expiration
bad.
date. So it's, because it's already candied, it's preserved and so on, you can keep it forever. So if you have any interest in making a fruit brac like this, it's
Oh, I
easy to
think it's
find,
great.
but you might not find it at this time of year.
I think it's. I think I'm thinking my mother actually used to keep this in the house when
Yeah,
we were younger.
it's something, yeah.
Yeah.
And you find it also, the smaller containers with candied cherries,
Yeah.
green cherries,
Right.
red cherries, plain lemon citron,
Okay.
lemon.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite recipe in this book right now?
Oh, gosh.
I know it's a
favorite,
bad question. It's like
yeah.
everyone is your baby.
Yeah. I
The
know.
bacon thing,
One
that
favorite.
bacon.
Bib, and
The
apple
black, remember
salad.
yesterday I talked to you about the black bacon?
Oh, the black pigs, yeah.
Black
the
pigs.
black bacon. Well, if you look at the book, there is one of the forward photos is a picture of some black pigs. And they are black pigs who therefore create black bacon. It looks just like,
It looks like black. Really?
well, it's not, it's Irish bacon, which is completely different than American bacon. It's
this
much
is a picture of
leaner.
the pig.
They're the pigs.
Aw,
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
move in on that camera. That would be great to
that's
say.
so cute.
Yeah.
I'll come closer.
And you,
Yeah,
and
that would be
you
great.
can't get that bacon, as Jen asked me yesterday, you can't get
Much
that
better.
bacon here. But it's just because it's a trademark from these pigs. But traditional Irish bacon you can get in the U.S., TommyMaloney's.com.
Oh.
It's a great, it's a USDA approved plant right in Queens. And they do bacon, boiling bacon, as opposed
Black
to corned beef. They
sausage.
do corned beef as well. Black
So-
and white pudding, yeah.
What did you do? You set off to different parts of Ireland. You broke it up into the different sections, and you went off to the different restaurants, and you met up with the proprietors, and you talked about their #1 recipe, and then you put this in the book.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so exciting!
Yes.
So it's their recipe, it's like the Ashford Castle, that was from their
That's their
menu?
recipe, right. Some of the recipes are my own, but if they're from, like where you just opened,
The bacon leek tart would be yours.
no, it's from wherever there's a recipe that's not my own.
Oh, okay.
It's always credited,
Okay.
which is great for the restaurant, for the
Oh, it's
producer,
great.
or something like that. Great publicity for them. And
So
if
at
you're
the back
designing-
of the book, you have this tour that you're going to be doing.
you.
Oh my
So
gosh.
great.
If anyone is interested in doing it's a 13-day escorted tour
Yes.
to Ireland,
With
and it's a culinary tour, and you're the tour guide.
I'm the tour guide, so you'd have to put up with me for 13 days.
Oh, that'd be
I would-
horrible, Peggy.
I wouldn't be that bad though.
This is great, and you can go on to CelticGolf.com or Quinlan Tours to get the price and the dates.
Yes, it is. The May tour is not going to
It's not going to happen.
It's
but
going to be October 7th.
Okay.
Or 6th or 7th.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so you're going to enjoy the best of Irish food and drink. Visit cheesemakers, salmon smoke. Oh, this is right up my alley. Oh my God, cheese and salmon. That's like my best in life. And you're going to stay at 5-star deluxe accommodations. You're going to play golf
If you want.
if you want, and
Most of the places have spas.
just eat your way through.
I'm there.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love it. It's really beautiful. I have more questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Why does Ireland have such a special place in your heart?
Well,
Well,
my grandparents on both sides were from Ireland. And I grew up in a household where, I don't know, that's all they talked about was Ireland. Yet nobody, like my mother never went to Ireland. My aunt, nobody ever went to Ireland except me. And I just was
my
always
first
fascinated with it.
rock.
And I said I'm going, and I just never stopped going. It's one of those things.
It's
that really
because
go.
when you go there, you don't want to leave, and all you want to do is go back.
Exactly, and that's what I do. And fortunately, my husband goes along with me. And he loves it.
He's a
Oh,
supporter.
that's great.
He loves it.
He's
And
living off the book royalties. That's
yeah,
what I know.
I don't know.
This
I
is
mean,
good.
This is delicious, Peggy.
This is delicious.
I'm a little scared.
I
but
want to
it's
tell
good.
you that
Oh,
this
come
fruit
on.
brac this tea brac
Got
is
to
really
try
good.
it.
Everyone's going to get to try some.
Yes.
It's really
And they
yummy.
carry gold
Do
butter.
you still have family there?
I have one. No. To answer your question, no. I had
go.
a very distant cousin who passed away about 3 years ago, but I have lots of friends there. After 60 trips, it's always
Yeah.
somebody. Hello.
That's my mom. She just snuck in.
Hello.
This is yummy. Everyone's
Yummy,
going to
yummy.
taste.
Okay.
So good.
So we put the
Yummy.
Oreos
Margaret,
to
that's
the
delicious.
side.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
That's delicious.
We
Good.
celebrated
Very
with them.
good.
We're done now.
Right.
You said that, do you think that there'll be any Irish cooks on the Food Network someday?
Well, there are some on, like Rachel Allen. She's a beautiful, beautiful 30-something gal. She's on Channel 13, I think it's.
Oh, okay.
She does a cooking show from Ireland.
Good. This is really tasty.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Take that plate
Yes,
to the
please.
audience.
Oh my goodness. You
Can
guys
I
are
get
gonna
some
love
feedback?
it. Mm-hmm.
And the butter doesn't help it.
Oh, the butter, is the
Butter
butter
on
great?
slices.
Seriously.
Kerrygold butter.
Kerrygold butter is the best, and cheese, of course, Dubliner cheese,
I
aged
love
cheddar,
Dubliner cheese.
Blarney Castle,
Mm.
red Leinster.
Oh, so good. So
Oh,
good,
so
so good, so
Yeah.
good. I can't wait till this one bakes.
It's all yours.
So yummy. So how is this book different from your other books?
This, it's not, well, it's more general, like the other books, like the New Irish Table, for example, that was like almost all really contemporary Irish recipes. Puddings, tarts, crumbles, and fools, which I didn't actually bring, is all desserts. The first, the Irish pub cookbook,
Yeah.
more pubby things.
So good.
This is just general, it's got breakfast, breads,
I
brunch.
really like that.
Yeah.
Brock. That's
What do you
really
guys
good.
think?
So
It's
we're going to be able to
delicious.
tell everybody that you can purchase your books on Amazon.com
Thank you, Amazon.com,
and
locally.
locally. You can
Locally.
support your local bookstores,
Books and
whichever they
books.
would be. Or we're going to say
Oh.
books and books. Okay, we'll say books and books.
Locally, yes,
We
yes.
wish it was open book, but it's not. But we certainly can go. Please go on Peggy's website, which is irishcook.com, or also Margaret M. Johnson.
Actually, the website is, yes, irishcook.com and margaretmjohnson.com.
Right, right, and you can go check out her Facebook page. Which right now, if you go on her Facebook page and you like
like
it, you're going to be entered into a sweepstake to
Yes.
win her new book,
Yes.
which is Flavors of Ireland, which we just celebrated tonight.
Yes.
And what can we expect in the future?
Actually, I'm writing a Christmas Flavors of
Oh.
Ireland.
And when will that be out?
Well, I'm not sure. Hopefully before Christmas, but
Have you been with the same publishing company?
no, the Flavors of Ireland is a new publisher, Ambassador International. They're from South Carolina.
Amazing. And what was it amazing the first time you held your own book?
Yes, it was great. It was just like
Oh.
holding your own baby, I guess, you know.
That's
And
great.
then once you have it, just need to get another one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Does anybody have any questions
How
for
many
Margaret?
books have you sold?
Sold?
Thousands.
Actually, no. Actually, in total, Jen, that's a very good question. About 110,000.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That's over.
So glad I
That's
asked.
good.
I'm glad you asked.
But
Thank
that's
you.
amazing. That's amazing.
Really
You should make a T-shirt. So glad you asked.
Oh.
We only have a couple
Very
more
nice.
minutes. Anybody else have a question for Margaret? Come
How
ahead.
much time do you spend trying out these recipes before you
done.
put them in the book?
It works. I do it in reverse. I formulate the chapters.
Okay.
And the whole layout of, not the layout, but the chapter divisions and so on. And then I say, I want this, and this in the book.
Okay.
And then, after I've, let's say, have 20 per chapter, then I try them all out.
Okay.
Test them all. And some of them get tossed, some of
Okay.
them, get
Do you
obviously
need
tweaked.
testers in the house? Would you like a tester to come over?
I really would. I would, yes.
They'll all come.
Yeah, we'll all come. We have
Come
to
to your
say
kitchen.
we have to say goodnight to Margaret. Oh my God! You made me live my dream. I got to do my cooking segment. I've been dying to do it. I was so excited to have.
Bring it back at Christmas.
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna come back again.
Of course,
All
I'll do
right,
an afternoon
terrific.
tea
All
if
right.
you want to do tea.
Oh, I
Let's
love
say
that.
tea.
Oh, let's do that.
Oh.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, remember to
That'd be
go to the
fun.
parade on Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. It starts. And remember to turn your clocks ahead on Saturday night. And what else is coming up? Next week I have Jay Kopf on the show, and I'll probably have another guest. I'm just not sure. And Tippy will be back. Okay, everybody, say good night.
Good night.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Margaret.